You see, because God already factored that in. God already thought about you being imperfect. God already knows your flaws. God already knows the things that trip you up. God already knows. He factored all of that in when he chose you. He factored all of that in when he asked you to start that business. He factored all of that in when he gave you those kids to watch over. He factored all of that in when he gave you that big thing that you're carrying right now. He factored all of that in. And nothing slips through God's fingers without it being approved by him. And I know sometimes that can be difficult to understand. But the devil needs permission. So why are you upset over somebody that needs permission? Oh, wait. I love the story of Job, and the story of Job is hard to digest. The story of Job is when Job loses everything. And the devil comes to God before any of this happens, and he says, you know what? I bet you that he don't love you. I bet you that if you let me mess with him, I bet you that he's going to turn on you. I bet you he's not as good a man as you say he is. God, I bet not. And I know it sounds like maybe God was being hateful to Job. But in my mind, I think God was protecting Job's character. I think God believed in Job enough. Job was like the NBA draft, like round 1. And Job never cursed God. He had a lot of questions. He was upset. He was mad. He was going through it. But he rocked with God, and God rocked with him, and it was evident. And God comes back and not only restores it to him, he restores it to him more. And I know you can't replace people. But that was always such an interesting story to me. Because God factored in everything that the devil didn't factor in. All the devil was factoring in is Job's got a good life. Job has this. Job has livestock. Ain't nothing going on. But I bet you if you threw a wrench into Job's plans, then Job's going to lose it and he's not going to love you, and then you lose Job. Yeah, but the devil needed permission though. And anytime spiritual warfare comes your way, I want you to remember, no matter how sad you are, and no matter how you're looking at, I can't do this, God factored all of that in. And I'm not saying that he sent the bad thing. I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is that you're fighting a defeated foe that needed permission. About that. He needed permission, and he wouldn't have got it if God didn't believe in you. And he wouldn't have got it if God wasn't protecting your character. And he wouldn't have got it if he wasn't going to be like, look, you can't kill that one. You can't. And you know what I love about the story of Job is he says, you know what? Whatever. But you can't touch Job. And he touched everything around him, but he could never touch Job. And even though I know that's still a hard story to hold, I am telling you, you are fighting a defeated foe that needed permission to even approach you. Now I want you to go back and try that again. And come back with a different attitude. And I don't mean come back without grief or come back without anger. I mean process that. But come back and look at all of it and all the places where the devil wanted you to lose your mind. And I want you to take stock of the one thing that the devil didn't factor in. And it's that God loves you. And that the devil can't quite understand it because he don't have what you have. He don't have the favor of God, the love of God. He doesn't have any of that. So he can't really understand why God always comes in clutch for everybody and why he got kicked out. But I bet if you looked at it differently, that thing would look different. I know it would. That's all.